Hello and welcome to another Explorer video. Today we're trying Yorion Blue-White Control, one of the top decks in the format. And here in front of me I have a list that is sort of an amalgamation, do you even say that? A mix between lists that I researched. I took a list from Ginki MTG, who recently played this deck in a Mana Traders tournament, Mana Traders Series tournament. Never competed in those, so I'm not quite sure what that exactly was. But anyways, Ginki, of course, part of Team Handshake, so usually has the good stuff. And yeah, and then just an online list I just saw competing like in the top 8 of a showcase challenge, a Pioneer Showcase challenge. And we're coming to this. Not much to say about it. I guess March was not in the list that I played, I don't know, that I made my last video on, which is already like 3 months ago or something like that. But I think March mainly here because it's just so flexible and you kind of need early game removal against Amalia combo to not just die to them. And exiling is nice there too. And then, you know, against red-black mid-range, the card is pretty serviceable. You can, you know, get rid of Bankbuster. You always pay up, which is the annoying part, but sometimes if you have a lot of card advantage, you can just pay down, right? And then you get a bit of tempo. And it also does get rid of Mutavault and other manlands for just 1 mana, so that is a pretty good deal. And yeah, just you're paying for the flexibility. You can even exile a Phoenix with this, comes up sometimes. A card I kind of wanted to play is Hallowed Moonlight, which is good against Phoenix, good against Fable, just good against token generators in general, and also quite nice against Court of Calling Return to the Ranks. But Hallowed Moonlight is not legal on Arena, weirdly enough. Or, I mean, I checked. I'm just going to double check again because I'm very confident that Moonlight was actually in Innistrad. I'm pretty confident about that, or maybe it wasn't. Oh no, I think it was Magic Origins. True, maybe it was Magic Origins. Well, anyways, it's not an Arena, so we can't play that card, so we gotta make do with just other options. And yeah, we're playing 4 Make Disappear, 3 Dovin's Veto, 1 Change the Equation, 1 Jwari Disruption, bit random here. I couldn't decide on the other 2 mana counters. I think 3 Veto, 4 Make Disappear is pretty good. And then 2 Absorb. This is the card that I hate the most. Ginki was playing it, but like with a deck with 4 Field of Ruin, just I don't know about it. Is it worth it? And 3 mana counter spells are a bit expensive anyways. You're playing a control deck, so you know games go long, and you want to have that hard counter to not have something resolved that might slip away, that sort of, you know, troubles you. And it also gains free, so yeah, there's arguments for it, but I kind of just hate the card for its clunkiness, and then also with the Field of Ruin non-bow. At the 4 mana slot, I love a lot of these. Wandering Emperor, Memory Deluge, Supreme Verdict, it's 11 4-drops. It's quite a lot. This deck really needs to hit its 4th land. But yeah, with Verdict and Emperor, you have 2 amazing cards that sort of bring you back into the game, and Deluge is just, you know, the MVP card draw spell. And for Lockdown, I didn't say anything, but you know, this card is just very, very good, of course. One of the best cards in Pioneer/Explorer. Get Lost, of course, just, you know, better than Fateful Absence, essentially. Teferi, Shark Typhoon, and 1 copy of Farewell. The Farewell is not a must-have, but it can be good. It can be good against both the Amalia and Phoenix deck, when you can draw out the game a little bit. Buy some time and then boom, blow up the entire graveyard, exile everything. Also against red-black, actually. If you can just survive until this, it gets rid of Croxa in the graveyard, gets rid of any artifacts, any Fable that you know you can't get rid of with the Verdict quite yet because it hasn't flipped yet. It just says like, boom, get rid of everything. Besides, I guess, Liliana of the Veil. Yeah, so not a bad one. And there you have Get Lost for, I guess, for Liliana. And mana base, we're playing a lot of lands. We're playing 37 plus a Jwari Disruption. A bit more lands than I used to play, I think. But I think that's a good idea, honestly. There's a lot of utility lands. We also have the Anchorage now. So we have even more utility lands than before. And you, again, really just have to hit your land drops with this deck. At least the 4th one. You also always have Yorion at your disposal. So you rarely run out of, you know, cards or stuff to do with this deck. Sideboard, we have Elspeth Smite, which I don't know, seems kind of random, but it was in there. You can't really play Portable Hole, I guess, which is another good 1-mana removal because Portable Hole is pretty bad with Temporary Lockdown. So yeah, you play Elspeth Smite, I guess, against aggressive creature decks. 3 copies of Rest in Peace down here, another copy of Get Lost, just killing Liliana's post-board against red-black mid-range, you know, just having another kill spell. This is a card deck that could easily slot into the main deck because of its flexibility too. You could like put the change the equation in the sideboard, for example. 3 Mystical Dispute, 1 Hullbreaker Horror for the blue matchups, Chromos Seedshark, an amazing sideboard threat that has been printed in the recent year, right, in 2023, and just, I think it's just excellent in a lot of matchups post-board, especially against you know, also aggressive decks. Like, it doesn't only come in the control matchup, it comes in against humans and Convoke, because it sort of stabilizes you and turns over the game, and they usually don't have removal. Yeah, just an excellent card overall. And the 4th Veto, of course, cannot miss. And then there's Dream Trawler in here too, because this is just a power play against red-black mid-range, and then against some aggressive decks, you could board this in to have a big life-linking flyer. Alright, that's Yorion Blue-White. The Explorer Qualifier is coming up. Tomorrow is best of 3 qualifier for the qualifier weekend. I'm already qualified, so I don't have to play the qualifier, but hey, maybe you are still looking or are still unsure on what to play. So let's try out the top control deck in Explorer, question mark. Alright, yeah, seems okay. A bit unfortunate with the double haul draw here, but I'm not passing up on Omen of the Sea. And yeah, make this appear as my 2 drops with a temporary lockdown against an aggressive deck. Field of Ruin, are we playing a mirror match? Maybe, but if we are, we're certainly not playing against Yorion, so... Okay, that's a curious start. Yeah, let's just play Omen of the Sea. I really could just think this is blue-white control. I'm gonna keep the Veto. I have plenty lands, don't need the island. Just play another Hall, right? Yeah. Can cycle the farmland, still have 3 more land drops to go. Okay. Sure. I have a lot of utility lands. Yeah, just get a plains for the Veto. I have to. I likely won't be pulling off the Veto here. Yeah, it's just blue-white, normal blue-white. Okay. Could be a Memory Deluge, but can't be an Emperor, so it can tap out here. If it would be an Emperor, I probably wouldn't cycle there. Now I'm threatening my own Emperor, which I unfortunately don't have. It's one of the best cards in a mirror match. Opponent missing land drops, not good for them. Just keep playing lands, I guess. Maybe I should play the field, actually. Okay, well, I'm gonna Jwari that, I believe. Couldn't make this appear, so I have another land drop. They must have just drawn this, because they clearly didn't have it, you know. Like, right, they just... This is already their 5th turn, right? They were in the play, yeah. So they didn't cast it last turn. They must have just drawn it. Okay. Otawara. Maybe I should have used the Jwari. Hard to say. I think I'm gonna do this. Now it seems somewhat safe. Yeah, okay. Like, it's only awkward when they go end of turn, some threat into another threat, sort of threaten it that way, but clearly don't have anything. Just chill, I guess. I could play Yorion, but I mean, my opponent has the Deluge. So they have something to do next turn if they hit another land. Maybe they have Emperor as well. Missing land drops though, okay. Alright, I'm just gonna chill and make my land drops. No need to rush. They have 8 cards now. I could actually Otawara my Omen of the Sea. That's something I've never done. But that's actually something you can do. Alright, now that I've drawn the Emperor, I'm pretty happy because I can play that end of turn and sort of force the issue. Okay. Interesting. So that's gonna go make 2 2/2s likely. Kinda wanna use my Get Lost. I could also play my own Emperor, make a Samurai. I kinda like that, yeah, make a Samurai and then make disappear. Seems pretty good. Still have Veto up for Teferi. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, maybe I should have just used the Jwari on the make disappear on the Memory Deluge when I had the chance. So the funny thing is, they can't even counter back here. Like, sometimes you could, like, play Make Disappear here to make me tap 2 and then play your own Teferi. But I can just... that doesn't work when there's 2 copy of Make Disappear because you're gonna tap 2 mana. And then at that point I can just let it get countered and the other one resolves and you can't pay 2 mana anymore. So there's nothing they can do here. But it seems very obvious to me that they have a Make Disappear right now. The way they thought about this and all that just makes me think that, and so it's good to know for the future. Yeah. I do have Get Lost, but no, I'm just gonna use Veto. Get Lost is kind of insane. It also deals with Shark Typhoon, huh? I'm just scooping it up. I mean, they missed a bunch of land drops. I'm ahead on lands, and I'm ahead on... I'm gonna play Yorion next turn, so... Makes sense. Okay, Lockdown, Verdict, pretty bad. Shark, Dispute, oops, nope, Veto. Alright, those are all in. Get Lost, come in here, buddy. Farewell, bye-bye. Now look at that, we actually don't really have any dead cards in our deck. Like, March is pretty good against Shark Typhoon and Manlands. Get Lost is good against Emperor, Teferi, and so on. Even killing Chromos, Seedshark, I guess. Oh, change the equation, right? Yeah, no, it doesn't seem very good here, no. Okay, so I could play Dream Trawler as another big haymaker, assuming that my opponent boards out Verdict, but some people actually do not have as many sideboard cards that are good in the matchup, so they do play stuff like Verdict in the main deck still, right? Like, they board out all lockdowns, but they might still have like 1 or 2 copies of Verdict, so they might be able to answer this. And of course, if they have Mystical Dispute, both Teferi and Dream Trawler aren't the best, because they're pretty terrible against Mystical Dispute. Make Disappear also kind of meh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run this. I already have Yorion, and I have a Hullbreaker Horror. I have 3 Sharks. My opponent does not have Yorion, so they have like 1 card fewer than I have. So I should have the better late game. I don't think I need to rely on like... I'd rather have like a March of Otherworldly Light that protects me from, you know, Shark beatdowns or something like that, than, you know, have a 6-drop in my deck. You know, it's a marginal thing, but it's I think that's a reasonable conclusion to come to. It's interesting. I think I do just play Farmland, but this is a hand where I don't know, I could see going like Castle Vantress, Plains. Yeah, because like we already do have lands, but I might be able to use this Jwari Disruption on like a turn 4 Memory Deluge. So. Alrighty. Could even play more Field of the Ruin, theoretically. Could play like Demolition Field in addition to it, if we wanted more of that effect. I have 1/1. Kind of makes me think their hand is loaded, because if it wouldn't be, then maybe you don't make a 1/1, you wait. But if your hand is like loaded and has lots of spells and other things to do with your mana, then you just do this for 1 mana. For like a 1/1, you know? Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy about trading my Jwari Disruption for like the 2 best cards out of the top 4 of the deck. That's a good trade to make, I think. They also might be missing land drops. They are. No spells either. No Memory, no Emperor, no Shark Typhoon. Just sitting on a very reactive hand. Here I can safely Shark Typhoon because at this point they can resolve Emperor, but they would have to like plus it to have it survive. It's not particularly good. Kind of funny, March. You can make a pretty big incubate token with March if you want to, like exiling a couple cards from your hand. Make a big incubator. Could come up. Yeah, just swing in. I'm just thinking if I want to deploy this shark. My opponent is missing land drops. I think I'm just gonna return my Yorion. Actually, I guess I'll tap all these. I don't want to play the shark into this much open mana. Well. Yeah, okay. Another Emperor would be kind of decent here. But then I could tap out, so that also would be good. For me. A nice draw. Yeah, I think at this point I'm gonna play the shark. I want to apply pressure. And there's not really a good counterspell they can have here. They can have like make disappear, theoretically. Okay, I mean, yeah, that shows you how good this card is, because it is somewhat difficult to interact with it. There's like make disappear is not particularly good against a free drop down the line, you know? Only good on turn 3, but you never slam it on turn 3. And then Mystical Dispute can sort of snag it, but yeah, I'm at a point in the game where it doesn't. And so Dovin's Veto doesn't get it, and at that point, like, what's left? A couple absorbs. Disdainful Stroke doesn't get it. Yeah, card is very resilient. Nazet Reversal. Yeah, it's just a really nice card. What can I say? I'm, as you can tell, I'm very much liking it. I'm just thinking now that if everybody's playing the Chromos Seedshark in the sideboard, maybe I should do a little bit of a different sideboard plan. Maybe something like Temporary Lockdown is not absurd at that point, because if it gets to that shark type of game with the incubation tokens and stuff, you kind of need maybe something to clean up. And Temporary Lockdown does that. But Temporary Lockdown doesn't get rid of the shark, so that's kind of painful. So maybe it's just Supreme Verdict, or the March, or Get Lost. I mean, Get Lost does it all. Gets rid of that, Teferi, Emperor. Get Lost, just great. Karuga. Alright. So that could either be the Discovery combo deck. Oh yeah, the Absorb, Field of Ruin. Chef's Kiss. Could either be, yeah, the combo deck, Discovery stuff, or normal Fires, I guess. I'm definitely keeping. I guess I'm just bottoming a Field of Ruin here. Like, this Omen of the Sea has to find me an untapped land anyways. I'm on the draw as well, I think. Oh no, I'm not. Okay, oops. Yeah, this Omen of the Sea is gonna deliver me the manas, right? And the Field of Ruin doesn't really, like a second one. Sure, it's a land drop, but it doesn't help me cast Absorb anyways, so. Alright, that's a good draw. Reading Pool, that, I guess that could be. Okay, I'm still not, like, it could be either of the two, right? They play Leyline Binding sometimes, these Discovery decks. Well, I put that to the bottom. Why do I draw it? Not what I wanted. Sun Petal Grove. It's like Beanstalk Giant, Bone Crusher Giant. It was a giant. Don't have a great answer for this right now. I really don't want to use one of my counter spells on it either. Karuga, 6 cards in hand. Like, this is only one counter spell. I think I'm gonna let it resolve and hope to just find an Emperor sometime soon. Bit risky. I mean, I have Verdict as well. Veto, okay. In before I die to a Bone Crusher Giant. I've Get Lost March. March, of course, not a great answer. Paying 4 mana to kill the giant is not good. But I guess I can exile the temporary lockdown. And then I just pay 2 mana. So that is a good answer, actually. So I have like Get Lost. I have Verdict down the line, maybe. Can make a Shark as a blocker. Yeah, this is clearly not Quintorius combo at this point. It's just good old Karuga Fires, which is a deck I've played in 2023. Actually twice in the arena qualifier. And one time I made day 2, so there's that. These seem pretty good to me. What do I do here? I think I just veto. Especially if the Shark in play, like make disappear seems pretty good. I could return Yorion as well, but like if they play an important spell, I can't cast my Emperor. I have to do this. So yeah, Karuga Fires. What do they even have? Enigmatic, Leyline Binding. That's like the most powerful thing they can do. I don't know. Not sure about that, but it seems fine. The Bone Crusher is certainly annoying. Dealing a lot of damage. Okay. I can just play Yorion here. Is that too risky? Or is that reasonable? They have 5 cards in hand. They missed the land drop. Now I drew a Shark Typhoon. I should just chill, honestly. Not even attack, just jump block. I have 2 good instants I can use. I have an Absorb I can hold up. The Yorion, of course, is super good here with the Omens of the Sea. But there's scenarios where Yorion just sort of wins me the game if I cast it there. Like if they don't have a good follow-up. And then there's also... They can't really go Leyline Binding plus Enigmatic, though. Like, what's the worst they could have done? They could have gone, like, Fires, Land, Elishnorn, something weird like that. Fable, okay. Sure. Teferi. Could just, make a goblin pass. So make a goblin. You know what I mean. Or we could just slam Yorion down and just... It's Elishnorn, Cavalier, Leyline Binding, Enigmatic. Enigmatic fetch for what? You already have your Heliod gone. What else did I play? Besides Heliod? I don't remember. Clever Impersonator. Copy my Yorion. Don't even have anything good in play though to flicker. I don't know. Maybe I should have just done this last turn. When they just had a Bone Crusher in play. Verdict. Is this scenario with Verdict is gonna be good here? Maybe. Definitely don't want the Shark. 5 cards. What can they do? Enigmatic. I have a 4/5. I have a 2/2. Like I can -3 on Elishanon theoretically. Okay. Alright, land I do take, and I'll make a 2/2. Alright, so they can leyline binding my Yorion, which is a ticking time bomb. Because if I ever blow up that leyline binding, they're gonna, you know, hate me. Man, Get Lost destroying enchantments is big game in this matchup. Just being able to blow up leyline binding and enigmatic incarnation. We're playing Tassa as a 4-drop. I have not seen that one before. To flicker over and over again your power plays. Alright. Tolzimir. Agent of Treachery, I guess. Atraxa. Our opponent has 6 mana. Do your worst. This is the one turn you have. Okay. They have leyline binding actually. True. Oh wow. Like they could attack and then they have leyline binding. And then they can sack it, get an Atraxa, or like an Agent of Treachery. Yeah. That's... I feel like I should have just played Yorion a turn prior. I think that was pretty safe. Like, there's nothing they can really super punish me with. Like an Elishanon, I guess, because I didn't have the Teferi at that point yet, so I was like kind of soft to an Elishanon. But I'm also Omen of the Sea, digging basically 6 cards deep. And at that point, I should probably find like either Verdict, Get Lost, or, you know, I should be able to find something. Let's see. Probably just... So they have an Enigmatic in play now, which is a bit annoying. They have 5 cards in hand. They have 2 white mana and Omnav. I kind of just want to get the Teferi down. I think I'm just going to do that and basically hold up Zorb. I could minus on the Enigmatic, but I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. That is good for me. Okay. Well. Yeah. I was just going to minus on the Enigmatic, and I just, you know, passed the turn. Keep up my counter. Magic. Okay, cool. Postboard. Doesn't really look like they're playing Thought Distortion. Let's see. That's a card they sometimes play, so it's just like 4 Mystical Dispute. We gotta worry about, right? As cards they can bring in. Mystical Dispute. There's a couple like weird ones I tried, but I think nobody else is playing them, so like, what is it called? I don't know. It's like some sort of bounce counter spell that has like an aftermath where you can silence one particular spell for a turn from their side. And then there's like, there's weird Brazen Borrower you could play as well. I did that in the past. Okay. Is this a matchup for the Seedshark? Certainly not a matchup for the temporary lockdown. Veto seems good. Get Lost seems good. I think Mystical Dispute is good too, especially considering that it counters their Mystical Dispute. Farewell is probably a fine one-off, you know? Like, Mystical Dispute is not that great against it after all. So then there's these two cards. I think those are the weakest ones, maybe. Hullbreaker Horror. It's kind of expensive. Dream Trawler is kind of expensive. Tap out-ish. Seedshark could be good too. But I think it's maybe better on the play. I just want to, you know, survive on the draw. I think I'm keeping the Verdict and just trimming one March. Yeah. Maybe I should just play free Get Lost in a main deck. Just make room for the third. Yeah, I am. Being able to destroy enchantments is a significant upside compared to Fateful Absence. Especially in Pioneer, where, you know, there's decks that run various enchantments, like Karuga Fires. To be fair, this matchup is already good, but yeah. In some situations, it could be nice to even go like end of turn, Get Lost, the Fable that was just played, and then untap, temporary lock down the map tokens and the Goblin Shaman, and everything else, maybe a 2-drop that they also played. So that's a nice play pattern. Because otherwise you always have, you know, like, had to leave them with the Fable. But then you just blow it up and then also get rid of those map tokens that you gave them. So yeah, those cards synergize well together. Okay, we have a tapped Glacial Fortress, but otherwise this hand is pretty sufficient. And maybe we find that basic land to make the Glacial Fortress untapped. Alright, no 2-drop. There's a Hallowed Fountain. There is a Hallowed Fountain. That's good. Okay, I'll just put this on 1 blue. Doesn't matter at this point. Like, my hand is... I have all the colors. 4 dual lands. Maybe a bit much. Yeah. Anyways. I kind of like 4 Make Disappear. There's Shark, there's even this Manland, which you can, if you have 5 mana in play, you can activate this. And then tap it for itself and then sack it to Make Disappear. They might Mystical Dispute this. It looks like they have Mystical Dispute to me. They didn't have Bone Crusher Giant. You know, like otherwise they would have shot me 2 to the face on turn 2. Yeah, so yeah, I'm assuming they're just sitting on Mystical Dispute and they're even thinking about countering this, but I would be happy if they counter this because I have a much better blue card in my hand. Okay, they decided not to. I don't think it's unreasonable to counter that by the way. I mean, if there's no Thought Distortion coming, I guess there could be something else that's uncounterable. The green is not really a main color, and like all the uncounterable stuff is green. And I have never seen them play. Like the green cards also all die to Verdict, right? So the green uncounterable stuff's not particularly good. So I think I'm just keeping both. Like this is just perfect. How are they ever gonna beat this? Like, you know, my hand is just so good. And I have Mystical Dispute for their Mystical Dispute. Okay. This is the type of thing you could actually let resolve. Because in itself, it does literally nothing in this matchup. Especially considering that I have a hand with only counterspells, so I can just keep countering everything. Quite good with Karuga as well, I guess. I love this play from my opponent because it's sort of testing the water and throwing out the absolute worst card, but I'm still having to think about it. Is this worth a counterspell? Can I play a game with Fusser as just in play? I can definitely play a game. It's just, like, I don't have an easy time removing this, I guess. I think I'm gonna let it happen. I'm gonna play this game. It's gonna be interesting. But it just does nothing in itself. Maybe they go 4-drop Mystical Dispute. Yeah, looks like it. If I use my Mystical Dispute here, they cannot really respond even with their Mystical Dispute, so that seems kind of dope. I might even be able to play a game where I can... Maybe this was stupid though. Maybe I should have thought about this more, because now they can counter my Memory Deluge, which I kind of don't want them to do. Although... fine. I can technically just wait until turn 7 to cast Deluge. On the other hand, I can just cast Deluge on turn 7 as well. From the graveyard. So. Yeah, but maybe I should have used to make this appear. But then they would have disputed. But then I would have traded Dispute and make this appear for both Dispute and Incarnation, and this would have resolved. Which would have been pretty good for me. I can't really return Yorion because they always threaten Mystical Dispute. So if they go Karuga, I go Change, and they have Mystical Dispute, it's pretty bad if I put Yorion into my hand. Well, I'm using to make this appear, I guess. Am I? This doesn't counter white cards. Or, like, the change. I'm just thinking... So, like, Ilishnorn. Or... Boy, I mean, there's not much this can't counter. 6 mana cards, 7 mana cards. Like, Atraxa. They're missing land drops too. This is an interesting spot. I don't know which one's the correct one. Thinking make this appear because it's just the costs. But if they slammed on like Atraxa next turn, I'm gonna be a bit sad. But I mean, they need black mana for that, so it's likely not gonna happen. And also, Agent doesn't really make sense for them to play. Looks like they have another land, but they decided against playing it. Maybe because it's a cycle land, or like a Boseiju or something. Or not Otawara. I could just return Yorion here, have double counter, that's pretty safe. Or I just Memory Deluge. Yorion is kind of nice here though, because I mean, it does run into Mystical Dispute. All right, I'm gonna chill. And if I use a counter, I can always Castle Vantress as well, so I can use my mana at least. I wouldn't like waste 5 mana in this situation. There's a Triome, and there's an Incarnation. I think that's a veto target. I think the change is a bit more flexible. Counter everything. Farewell. Well, opponent said farewell to the game. Yeah. Diamond tier 1, huh? Close to Mythic. It's been a while. I think I keep the farewell in that situation. It's sort of the reset button. And kind of nice to have as an insurance. Yeah, probably keep it. Not sure about the Yorion line there. Maybe I should have just returned Yorion and just... I don't know. It's like pretty bad against Mystical Dispute though. If I didn't play like a Yorion and they Mystical Disputed, what do? I just lose the Yorion? Not great. Alright, play first. That's too few lands. Okay. Would be kind of nice to know what I'm up against. So I had no companion. That could literally mean anything, really. Are there Convoke decks running Giganta these days? I think they do, right? Is there any double pip cards? I don't think there is a double pip card, so it's not Convoke, right? It could be humans, though. It could be spirits. It could be Amalia. I'm keeping, of course, but what do I put away? Maybe to change. Maybe to change. Phoenix. It's a good matchup to play. To see. Lockdown, not the best card in the matchup. Drawing the second one. Not very good. Here, open deck lists would have been nice. Then I would have just put that lockdown to the bottom. Although change the equation is not particularly good in this matchup either. Okay. Well, it looks like they don't have the Prankster. Looks like they just maybe have a Shredder plus Opt kind of draw. Or maybe they're playing a piece of the puzzle version. That could also be the case. I don't know what the numbers are. I like both of these cards in this matchup, but making land drops is pretty important. So I don't know. I think making land drops is more important. I really can't miss land drops. Whoops. That's a 6-drop. That's not a land. Not at all. Yeah, I'm pretty happy I bottomed all those cards. Do I keep up or do I Yorion? I think I just Yorion here. It's kind of free to do so because I'm not going to play Get Lost. Okay, they don't even have another like Consider or Opt. So they just have Shredder into Consider, I guess. They were slow rolling it. Yeah. Sure. Discard a Phoenix. Yeah. Make use of this lockdown. But obviously I'm not happy to not make a land drop, first of all, and secondly, sort of giving my opponent an entire turn to do their thing. Two Spell Pierce are the big ones in the matchup. If my opponent has one or two, makes a difference for sure. I don't know that, of course, but I have to play around it a little bit or have it on my mind. Don't have to play around it. I'm already falling behind. So whenever you fall behind, might just be okay to, you know, play into stuff because you can't like fall behind in the first place and then also slow yourself down even more because you play around stuff. And that's going to put you in an even worse position. Okay, so they're playing the pieces version, or maybe a mix of things, I don't know. But playing both together doesn't really make sense because pieces doesn't find picklock. Yeah, obviously would have loved to make disappear that. This is the prime make disappear target. Now I don't have a veto in my hand. So a cruise could resolve, but looks like my opponent just passing the turn. What was that? Not even trying to make a land drop? Maybe they misclicked. If you cast cantrips, you should do it pre-combat because Phoenix. Yeah, this got to be a misclick, right? They could have returned a Phoenix here. Lightning Axe. I almost don't want to give them a 1/1 to sort of target with this Lightning Axe. they have another Phoenix in hand, but I'm still gonna do it because I have the upside of, you know, maybe countering something by sacking it. I don't know. Okay, I've definitely outs here. Maybe I can. I think that's worth it to get countered here. Maybe I can bait out a Spell Pierce somehow, and then resolve this Farewell down the line. Okay, they're going to kill my Shark and discard another Phoenix. Yeah. Now it does look bad what I did. Not gonna lie. Unfortunately, but that's unfortunately how it is now. Yeah, I've just missing land drops, falling too far behind, and now the Phoenix player can sort of put me on the rope. Like attack me for 6 here. I guess I have to get lost one of these Phoenixes? To preserve life thrower, huh? Yeah, probably. If they have Treasure Cruise here, I'm probably dead. It's just too many cards. They're taking their sweet time. Okay, well, my opponent maybe just disconnected. Okay. Opponent's coming back after they skipped the turn. Almost roping out here. And now they're already in the beginning of combat. So they can't even get the Phoenixes back at this point. That sucks for them. It's gotta be frustrating. And I think they're not even realizing it. Yeah. You are not getting any Phoenixes back, I'm afraid. Sorry. What? Oh, that was my turn even. Oh my god. Oh my god, they thought they rejoined. They probably disconnected, rejoined. Shit. And then they did all of this in my turn. I might still lose this game easily. We'll see. Maybe I can bait out a Spell Pierce with this. And then farewell everything. And die to 2 Hall of Storm Giants. Prankster. I would like to counter that. But they're also getting the Phoenixes back anyways. So I guess I could go Mississippi a get lost. I don't know. This Mississippi is getting really bad too. So they're playing both pieces and pick luck. I don't know if I like that. I guess it ups the amount of mills you have. They can also shock one of their Phoenixes here in response to this Emperor. Alright, no Spell Pierce. Makes me think they don't have it. I would have been so dead if they didn't skip their turn. I mean, I guess, yeah, kinda. Yeah, kinda. I would have pretty much in trouble, yeah. Okay. They do have pieces to rebuild now. So even if I exile the entire graveyard, they can rebuild. They can rebuild really well. But what else am I gonna do this turn? 25 cards in library. I could try to like bait them more. I could play Yorion. They have 1 axe in the grave, so I'll likely have the answer for the Yorion. And then just hope they don't have Spell Pierce next turn. I mean, they have not milled the Spell Pierce yet. They have 2 Phoenixes and 2 Halls left. I'm just thinking I have to get a little bit more greedy. I can also make this Yorion into a 5/6 actually. Oh man. This would be this is a tough call. Like maybe if they don't have Spell Pierce, if I know they don't have Spell Pierce, I'm slamming this Yorion. But I don't know if they have Spell Pierce or not. I don't know. I have no insight in their deck list. Yeah, I feel like just I don't know. I don't feel happy about doing this, but maybe it's the right call. I don't know. I don't know what's correct there. It's like if I play Yorion here, then they use more cards, more graveyard, mill more. You know? Put out more resources, deal with my Yorion, right? And like put me maybe to 11 or something, or maybe down to 8. But at least, you know, I'll be knowing that I have more resources. Like then the farewell would be even more brutal, you know. They didn't play Picklock Pranks. That was just a bit of a giveaway. I kind of just want to play Yorion here. Making a Shark. It's kind of the same as Yorion, I guess. Yeah, no, I should just make a Shark. If I want to do Yorion, Shark is just better. I could be able to counter much more, so I'm using the opportunity. They have a lot of, like, that makes me think they don't have Spell Pierce, maybe. And I should have just waited, because, like, how do you fit Pranksters and pieces into a Phoenix deck, you know? You gotta cut Spell Pierce, right? It's not many flex slots. Another cruise. Field of Ruin would have been nice this game. Would have given me something to do and blow up these halls. Yep. It's kind of wild that my opponent completely skipped the turn, but they're still winning. Yeah, shows you the power of Phoenix. I wouldn't have thought I was able to counter a Treasure Cruise with a Make Disappear. I guess I would have been able to. Pretty unlikely to know that. Okay, so 13 cards left. Go down to 12. They clearly have a bunch of fiery impulses at least in hand, so making a shark for a 2/2 here just enables one of those cards. Using Get Lost means I have one less Get Lost for a haul. I don't know. I'm just gonna do this. Force the issue, I guess. I don't know. They have 2 fiery impulses, 2 axe, 3 axe. Oh, they let me do it actually. Okay. Just want to preserve life total. They're down to 13 cards in library. Maybe I can stall this out. Am I casting Yorion here? It seems kind of decent to do so. The best card in this situation, I think, is Wandering Emperor for me. Exiles. They didn't cast Fiery Impulse. Like, maybe they don't have it, huh? You know, like that was just, why didn't you kill the shark with Fiery Impulse so you don't have it? I would just assume by that. Shark is pretty good here. Especially in the post-board games, Shark can be very nice. Yeah, and here you just, the strength of Yorion as your additional companion, it's nice. Shredderino. More stuff for my second lockdown, that's good for me. Yeah, I might be able to sort of survive, even through these hauls. I mean, I have a haul of my own that can trade. 2 Shark Typhoons, I have a Get Lost. Wow, opponent's just conceding. In this entire run, everybody's just conceding so quickly. I take it, I guess. I take it. But that's just, alright, well. Okay. Well. I have a lot of sideboard cards in my sideboard. For this matchup, a lot of them actually, pretty good ones. I think Farewell, Postboard, not that good. Rest in Peace, Mystical Dispute, Chromos Seedshark, Veto, even Horror is plausible. You can trim down on Teferi, maybe 1 copy. Get Lost seems kind of good too. March. So if I think about the sideboard cards, Crackling Drake, Young Pyromancer, Saheeli, and Fable, right? Saheeli probably the least likely. March is kind of okay against Shredder and Young Pyromancer and can also get rid of the Fable token, I guess. Doesn't seem great. I love Verdict because it's uncounterable. It just seems very nice here. Good against Mystical Dispute. Yeah, maybe I go to 2 Marches. I could also play Lockdown still. Maybe that's better than March. March can get rid of a Phoenix though. Make Disappear, I'm also a bit skeptical of. Change the Equation is good against both Fable and Drake, but I guess at that point, Make Disappear is good against those as well. Absorb is just too expensive, I think. Okay, I mean, now we're down to 80. Do I play the Horror? So some lists these days play Borrower. My list had 2 Borrowers, which, you know, that's one of the best cards in this matchup, I would say, from the Phoenix side. Dream Trawler is quite good, actually. It's a pretty good card. Maybe it's better than Phoenix. Maybe it's better than Teferi. Like, what did it do against that? Nothing. Right? It's just Mystical Dispute. Disdain for Stroke. Otherwise, they kind of die. I think the Horror is a bit hardcore. I'm gonna play another March. Here, like Portable Hole would be pretty nice, honestly. It's better than Temporary Lockdown, right? Or a 4th Verdict, I guess, would also help. Yeah. I have Yorion as a companion, so I always have something to do. Can also blow, if you have like a draw with multiple Fear of Ruins, you can start blowing their lands up, because they only play 2 islands usually. I have not much else going on. If I had like a counter spell here, I would just pass. But because I don't, I'm just slamming. Because I don't want them to like prankster and then just go off. They have negate, which is unfortunate. But, you know. If they didn't have negate, I would have been in a pretty good spot, so. It is how it is. You can also keep them off red mana, theoretically. It's unlikely, they have a lot of red sources, but you can try to do that. Looks like a prankster. My draw is not coming together. Keeping 5 lands and drawing 3 more lands off the top. That's, yeah, that's game. That's GG, and that's Magic sometimes. Yeah, drawing 3 lands off the top, keeping a 5. It's just, what can you do? Opponent has the negate and the prankster end of turn, and mills Phoenix and into the pieces. This game is gonna be a fast loss, I think. They're not going for the pieces, huh? They're going for the return Phoenix play. Alright. It kind of runs into my Emperor, which I'm actually happy about. But, you know, at this point where their graveyard is uncontested, they can cruise, you know, and that's pretty rough, so. We'll see, we'll see. Rest in Peace is obviously insane against their deck, especially against their Game 1 strategy. Their Game 1 deck cannot really beat Rest in Peace ever. So they need sideboard cards. Again, if I would have had one counterspell, I wouldn't have slammed the Rest in Peace there. But I didn't, so I think it was good the way I did it. Obviously unfortunate to put a valuable card like that out there. But if I don't do it, they like prankster and then they do more shenanigans, you know, so. 4 cards in hand, one of them pieces. I'm at 19. What do I do here? I could just play a 4/5. I definitely don't want to use my Shark until it's a 4/4, because then it's like a good spot. Yeah, I think I'm just playing a 4/5. The Verdict doesn't look... The Verdict is like an anti-sideboard card, like anti-Young Pyromancer and so on. It's not particularly good against their main game plan. Yeah, so I'm kind of ignoring it right now. They have Lightning Axe. Alright. That's fine. Discarding a Brazen Borrower. Their last card has to be pretty good. Good to know that they have it. But that's one gone. That's one gone. And they also already played Otawara, so that's another bounce gone. Shark Typhoon can be really good in these post-board games. Okay, so they have Treasure Cruise, drawing 3 here, easy peasy. Taking other pieces. Yeah, I'm starting to think they might not even run Spell Pierce. I haven't seen a Spell Pierce in game 1. They've gone through almost their entire deck. And they are playing both pieces and Prankster in high numbers. So they might not even run any Spell Pierces at all. So like Spell Pierce is usually not a card you put on your sideboard. So maybe they just have like 2 Dispute, 2 Negate or something like that. That's what I would assume. Playing Detective here, trying to guess their deck. Yeah. Imagine Rest in Peace would be in play. Or imagine I wouldn't have drawn a bazillion lands. Or imagine I would just be playing Phoenix, the best deck in the format. Is it? Is it? Or is it not? Oh wait, I can actually slam a Shark Typhoon there. Maybe I should have done that. Like 6 mana, boom. Maybe. I'm at 16, you know, like there's no time walking. Maybe that was my route to victory. I didn't even think about it. Didn't think about slamming a Shark Typhoon. It's like they have infinite cards anyways. So like, is it 1/4/4 gonna make, you know, the difference here? No, not really. Yeah, I think I should have just slammed Shark Typhoon there. That was a mistake on me. Didn't really think about it. There's no Time Walk combo I can die to in this format. And this is just pretty pathetic. The one thing they could have had is a Brazen Borrower, which they have 2 of. And that would have been also brutal on my Shark Typhoon, bouncing that. So I guess either way I would have gotten destroyed. So I guess it's fine. They're playing very conservative here. Why are they not playing any pieces? What? Keeping 5 mana up? What's up with that? It's interesting. Okay, fair. Yeah, I guess they have Borrow, right? True. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. What do I do here? Take 6? Taking 6 is a lot. Yeah, I don't think I want to take 6. So like, the way they can beat you is sort of doing this chip damage approach. There's one Mystical Dispute. They took it to their hand. Oh. Fair game. Maybe they're sitting on the gate as well. The way they played last turn with keeping up 5 for Borrow and negate. Oh, there's a negate. Alright, good to know. It looks like they don't have many alternative threats, honestly. I haven't seen one yet, besides the Borrower. Yeah, Borrower is probably the best alternative threat in this particular matchup, but of course against, you know, red black mid-range, you'd rather have stuff like Crackling Drake. They're really going hard on the graveyard, and like Rest in Peace is going to completely obliterate them with this approach. So if I go Deluge here, they're just gonna dispute it. Yeah, but I think that's fine, because like I have the Deluge in the graveyard then, and you know. Okay. Interesting. So you have 1 hall here. Okay, so you have another hall in your deck at least. I could also take the Verdict and the Omen. At 10. I kind of have to pop a Verdict here, don't I? I could shuffle away the negate. That puts me to 5 lands, play castle, 6 lands. Then they can Mystical Dispute my Emperor, unfortunately. So I could just play it like this. Then they can Mystical Dispute, but I can pay. I'm gonna do that. If they have another negate, GG. I guess if they have negate, I can Dovin's Veto it. Ah, alright. Sure. I guess that was also likely to be there. That's fine though, because I can Dovin's Veto the negate now. And that's... I guess they have one more Phoenix in the bin. And then they have one in exile already, so they have one more in the deck. They have a Hall over there. It had to be negate. It had to be Veto, because otherwise they could have disputed.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underwhelming. This is what you get for hurting my people.
All right. Go pieces, go consider, okay. Prismari command. That's your alternative. Okay. Interesting. In this matchup even? Doesn't seem particularly good. This seems good against red black. With hers and Bankbuster and stuff. But not against blue white. No. This is the card that you usually board out against blue-white when you play like creativity. Doesn't seem like something you should be boarding in this matchup. Okay, looks like opponent's going for the Treasure Cruise number 3. Or is it number 4 already? I don't even know. This is the 4th one, so I think maybe they've cast 4, probably. They've drawn a lot of cards. The second spell, they've cast Consider. Now it's the 3rd spell, so again, get the Phoenix back, kill my Emperor. They've used 2 negates. They've used 2 borrowers. I mean, at this point, there's maybe like 2 disputes left.
Still have much to learn.
Hmm. They have double haul. Emperor is just so nice. It kind of gained me 5 life, right? Both of these gained me 5 life in a way. So they both had to be attacked down. The Exile, the Phoenix gained me 5. I mean, to be fair, they got this Phoenix back for free, so you know, it's maybe even better, but yeah, still, you take what you can get. They're down to 11 cards. We're doing the mill game plan again. They're starting to get in there. You have to do it before it turns into the 6/6, otherwise it has ward. They don't have any basics left. Do I just throw out this Omen? 2, 5. I have like this Deluge that's gonna get countered anyways. They have to draw another card as well, huh? So they've lost 2 borrows, so this Shark might be pretty nice. They're down to 10. I think I'm just playing this. Castle Ardenvale, in a way, answers a haul for 5 mana every turn. So they pay 6, I can just pay 5 to answer this. So that's kind of nice. 6/6 Shark for me. So they have how many Phoenix left? 1 in the bin and 2 in exile. They might not be able to get the 1 in the bin back. Am I okay taking 7 here, going to 5? I think I am. I think I just want to eat this shredder. I mean, if they have a borrow number 3, that would be impressive. That would be a hard commitment to this matchup. I go to 5. I think I'm going to be okay at 5. I hope. I have 2 flying lands as well. I had the choice to keep a Field of Ruin. Over this verdict. Would have been better, I guess. Okay, now they're going and trying to get the Phoenix back, I guess. I might just be able to deck them here. I kind of just want to double block. Maybe triple block is safer. They just give up. Okay. Yeah. I had a pretty bad draw, I would say, this game. I guess I don't know, like what happened here even? Like I think they cast 4 treasure cruise. I started with 8 lands and 2 spells. Plus a Yorion, I guess. My Rest in Peace got countered. I exiled 1 Phoenix, and then I played like a 4/5 which got lightning axed. 1 mana for 5 mana trade. Sure, they discard a card, but with all the treasure cruise, that doesn't really matter. And then, what happened then? I got to like get lost a borrower down the line. I played a Shark Typhoon, which traded with a Phoenix. I casted like Memory Deluge, then I cast Dovin's Veto Wandering Emperor. How the hell did I win this game? It just seems like something is off here, you know? Like how I was supposed to win this game when my opponent went completely nuts, did everything, had multiple borrowers. It maybe shouldn't have discarded that borrower. I think they kept these pieces the entire game. Is that true? They never cast it. They took it from like the prankster and took, or like they were able to discard it, I think, into the axe, but they discarded a borrower into the axe, which was kind of wild because borrower is like super good in the matchup. If they had like a borrower for my shark last turn, we could have definitely changed things. Interesting. I don't know. They probably misplayed somehow. I don't want to throw unnecessary shade, but like that was I cannot believe that I won this game. All right. Well, I think that's enough for blue-white control. This deck is rock solid. It has very good answers, has counter spells, good card draw. You know, it can literally play against anybody, but it also has the usual control problem, of course, where you know your threats, your responses don't align to their threats. It's gonna lose. Black decks have like 7 discard spells post board, and Croc size is an issue, and various other cards might be like Reckoner Bankbuster if you don't have the answer for it, or Liliana of the Veil if you don't have the answer for it. So that maybe you want another Get Lost. People have Liliana in their sideboard sometimes. And or like Red Black Sacrifice has Nixilis, which is a bit problematic as well. Like not only a bit, it's a nightmare card for this deck. So those are the issues, right? You can sort of good players can maneuver well around like Wandering Emperor, play around the counter spells a bit, sort of read into your hand. But hey, if you make your land drops and you just have your threats, your answers line up to their threats, deck is hard to beat, must say. And pretty decent chances at beating, yeah, like most of the top decks right now. Like what is like a really terrible matchup for this? I couldn't really think of it. Temporary Lockdown covers a lot of the decks in Pioneer actually, sort of, and then the other decks get covered by like counter spells and stuff. And then Phoenix is sort of this middle deck, which certainly I think Phoenix is ahead in game 1. because it's just so powerful, and you kind of need to have really a good draw to answer them. I was able to win game 1, but they skipped the turn, remember, right? So that definitely helped. But then post-board, you have like Rest in Peace, Mystical Dispute, and Seedshark to board in, so you have really good options there. Yeah, I like blue-white control. Definitely a consideration for me for the Explorer Qualifier weekend. And with that, I'm gonna wrap this one up, and yeah, see you in the next one. Take care, guys.